Good evening and welcome to the 2013 Mayor's Sustainability Awards Ceremony. First of all, I just want to say it's a pleasure to be here this evening to celebrate the achievements of our 9 award recipients, as well as the contributions of so many others here in this room tonight. Before we get underway, I want to talk for a moment about why I'm so pleased to be here tonight and to share the stage with our winners and Mayor Gray. I am particularly proud of a project that you may have heard called Empower House. This project, which won a Mayor's Sustainability Award in 2012, is a perfect example of the sustainability serving multiple needs and shaping a healthier, stronger community. The student-designed home were originally part of the U.S. Department of Energy's Solar Decathlon, but thanks to Habitat for Humanity and many other partners, and I'm going to throw Parsons School of Design because I was chairing it, they now serve as an affordable housing in the Deanwood neighborhood of D.C. Each Empower House unit produces all its energy needs on-site and complies with passive house standards. Heating and cooling systems require only the energy needed to run a hairdryer, keeping utility bills extremely low. It's about $600 a year. With affordable housing, clean energy generation, and energy efficient being major points of focus for Mayor Gray's Sustainable DC plan, I am proud to have been a sponsor of this innovative project. Now, on August 29th, I have a project, an environmentally sensitive Salamander Resort and Spa, which opens on August 29th in Middleburg, Virginia. And it's registered for LEED certification and will become one of the only, really, a few luxury destination resorts in the United States to achieve this recognition. Thank you. Thank you. With over 200 acres of woods, streams, meadows, and miles of hiking and biking, trails held in a conservation easement under the stewardship of the Potomac Conservancy Organization, the resort is fully committed to preserving the ecosystem and the environment. Now, tonight I have the greatest privilege of introducing not only a great woman, but a dear friend. This woman is an environmental activist. She is a giant, a warrior on behalf of issues affecting the districts, people, and our communities. Eleanor Holmes Norton, through Senate approval, was able to get $4 million to continue her efforts to clean up the Anacostia River. So it's with great pleasure that I introduce Eleanor, Congresswoman Norton.
Well, I don't know if all of you know who you have just heard from, because she makes it her business not to be in the limelight. And that's why we are so very fortunate that Sheila Johnson has come this evening to introduce these awards and to be with us. Now, those of you who are really in the know that Sheila Johnson owns the Mystics. And if you had only that to your name, you'd be a historic figure already. But Sheila has just told you about how she is about to open a resort, a green LEED resort in, of all places, the state of Virginia. That she, it hasn't been easy. You'll have to hear that story one day. I hope when Sheila writes her memoirs, and she'll have so many things to write about. I want to thank Sheila once again, particularly now that we've begun to make progress on AIDS, for your wonderful film, The Other City, the film on HIV/AIDS in the District of Columbia. Sheila has been wherever good works are to be found in education, now in the environment. I didn't realize she had this extraordinary interest in the environment. in education, in the arts. So I just want to thank you, Sheila, for all you have done already for this city and for agreeing to come this evening. The mayor and the district itself deserve our congratulations for offering these awards, and the 2013 recipients deserve terrific congratulations for what they have done. I have read about why you have received these awards, and what I see is really sparkling innovation with deep sophistication and commitment and respect for the environment and for nature itself. It was a real eye-opener to read what the awards were about, because it told me a lot about where the real sustainability and innovation must take place and is taking place in this city. You know, we pride ourselves on being a green city because the district has been a leader in greening everything it can find. But it was an important educational exercise for me to read about what the citizens have done, what the businesses and organizations have done to receive these awards. Because it's not the big stuff that the federal and state and local governments do and that most people associate with sustainability and with the environment and good. We're glad that people do see that. The problem is that it does not do the gardens and the participatory sustainability that these awards highlight. Today, I became ranking member of another committee. I've been serving on a committee that's given me great opportunities with the Environment, the Economic Development Committee. I'm going to continue to serve on that committee, but today I became ranking member of the Surface Transportation Committee, which focuses, and I know you know what that means for the environment. Everything from public transit, my very favorite mode of transportation, if I could only one day leave my my hybrid and really use it, to highways, roads, and bridges that ought to be made of porous materials to absorb the runoff. And on the new surface transportation bill, I want to use technology and sensors so that people spend less time on the road so they know where the traffic is, and because we have less of those cars in the District of Columbia, putrefying our air. The mayor and the residents and I have just done a tour of the 1.1 million Coast Guard building. Now that's what people associate, that's what people think of when they think of sustainability, because the Coast Guard had a lot to brag about. That was under the jurisdiction of my Economic Development Subcommittee. And it's a LEED Gold building. It's 550,000 acres of green roofs. It's 2 acres of pools that recycle, ponds that recycle the stormwater runoff. Now all of that is what government should be doing. But what makes the awards tonight so gratifying, what made it so gratifying for me to read about them, was that it reminded me that sustainability is not about what government should do, but about what citizens are already doing in the District of Columbia. Government-built green roofs and LEED certifications will not solve the climate change crisis. We need to get the people involved in sustainability. And I must say, I have not seen much evidence of what you are doing, at least in an organized fashion, with the awards here today. There are people doing what you're doing all over the United States, but you remind me that the Congress needs to be doing all it can to encourage what the district is doing here today with the sustainability awards. So I come this evening to congratulate the 9 organizations who I believe are showing the way where it counts on the grounds, in the homes, in the schools, where we live, so that we can really create a new society that respects sustainability and the environment. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Now, we are pleased to have with us from Philadelphia our EPA Region 3 Administrator. His career is environmental and intergovernmental affairs, spans more than 20 years as the federal and local levels. Served as an aide to then Senator, now our Vice President of the United States, Joe Biden. For 4 years now, a strong partner and advocate for the district and our environment. May I present Shawn Garvin.
Thank you very much, Sheila. It really is a pleasure to be here. Congresswoman Norton, Mr. Mayor, Director Anderson, I appreciate the opportunity to be back again this year for these amazing awards. I want to make it very clear that Sheila has pointed out to me that most of you are standing and most of you are getting awards and eager to get at that. And subsequently, she has informed me that my remarks need to be very brief. So I will try to live up to the directions, because when Sheila asks you to do something, you'd be best to follow her instructions. So I want to start off with a simple question. What is sustainability? Now, there's a lot of people who think sustainability is doing things the way we always did, just put the word green or sustainable in the title, and we have sustainability. And there's others that believe that just stop doing everything. Whatever the status quo is right now, shut it all down, and then we'll be sustainable. But really, the definition of sustainability is everything that we need for our survival and well-being depends either directly or indirectly on our natural environment, and that we need to do everything we can to protect our environment in order to meet the needs of present and future generations. Now, in doing that, you really need to integrate three things. You need to integrate economic, social, and environmental priorities. If you have any one of those three that falls out, then you lose all of them. So our goal here is to focus on the great challenges that we have in front of us, but looking at it from the perspective of they provide great opportunities for us. The last 40 years, EPA has been in existence. And I have to tell you, the ability that we've had to meet our mission, which is protecting human health and the environment, has been based in the idea of innovation. Innovation in how do we look at the opportunities that these challenges present and seize on them. Now, everyone who's in this room who is receiving an award, and probably others who aren't, are all innovators. You're looking at the problems and challenges and trying to figure out what's a more sustainable way for us to meet that. Now, we have a big challenge now and into the future, which is climate change and the impacts of climate change. And 1 month ago today, President Obama announced his climate action plan. And really the basis of that plan is a common sense, comprehensive approach to how do we do the things that you're doing every day. How do we find innovative ways to have cleaner air and cleaner energy sources? Now, climate change is a long-term problem, but the President's plan builds on progress already underway to work with states, local communities, and the private sector to reduce carbon pollution and prepare for those impacts that cannot be avoided. Now, you've heard a lot over time talking about climate change, that it's a job killer and will crush the economy. Well, that's what they've been saying every single time America sets clear and better standards for our air and our water to protect our children's health. And every time they have been proven wrong, because innovators like you here tonight have found ways to do it. History makes it clear that we do not have to choose between the health of our children and the health of our economy. Now, as we move forward in finding these sustainable practices, we need to promote the message and showcase it to others. The real benefit of what we're highlighting here tonight is half is the accomplishments that you've already done. The other half is the message moving forward on how others can replicate what you're doing to make us a more sustainable community. Now, I had the opportunity yesterday to spend some time with the mayor at Dunbar High School. Now, I have to tell you, I now know more about Dunbar High School than probably anybody else in the District of Columbia. The mayor, being an alum there, knew all the ins and outs, but couldn't tell me where the football team was playing this year. So we're still working on finding that out. But we did a great event called Green Streets, Green Jobs, and Green Towns. It's a Chesapeake Bay initiative of trying to find out green and innovative ways to deal with stormwater. And it's a way of highlighting and, again, paying forward these opportunities. And I want to recognize District of the Environment Director Keith Anderson in the recently created stormwater regulations because they're going to have a great benefit to the stormwater in the district. Now, before Sheila stands up, which is my signal that I've run out of my time, I'm just going to run through one quick list. And this is my interpretation of what we're focusing on tonight. The award winners are leading by example, and they're including addressing food insecurity, expanding the boundaries on environmental management, creating world-class sustainable workspaces, rethinking land use possibilities, incorporating sustainability into history, creating beautiful, tasty, and economical landscapes, expanding environmental education, integrating energy efficiency into construction and facilities management, and providing consumers with a more green options. So I just want to say congratulations to all of you. I'm proud to be here, and I look forward to taking your messages to all corners of the country. Thank you.
Okay, moving along. Thank you, Shawn. When Mayor Vincent Gray took office 3.5 years ago, he had 4 top priorities on his agenda: education, safe communities, jobs and economic development, and fiscal stability. Within his first 3 months, he added sustainability to his list. Soon after, he announced his vision for a sustainable DC and charged 2 directors within his administration to engage the general public to develop a full plan for a sustainable DC. In February 2013, Mayor Gray released an ambitious plan that is being touted as among the most innovative sustainability plans in the nation. Since releasing the plan, Mayor Gray has doubled down on his efforts to make the district the greenest, cleanest, and most livable, I was going to say lovable, but livable city in the nation, and understand more than half of the 143 actions will be underway by Earth Day 2014. That's quite an achievement, and it is my great pleasure to introduce Mayor Vincent Gray to the podium.
Thank you very much, Sheila, for your, first of all, very kind introduction, and thank you very much for being with us here this evening and being a part of this effort. It is delightful to be able to be a part of something where you see people increasingly coming together to be able to make us the most sustainable, the greenest, the healthiest, the most livable and lovable city in America. Again, I want to say good evening to everybody, and I'm absolutely incredibly pleased to be able to be here with you in this beautiful venue. I was just telling Keith Anderson that this at one time, anybody remember when this was a theater? It was a movie theater at one point. It was the town theater, and of course now look at it, it's just absolutely phenomenal at this stage. I want to again congratulate the work of an extraordinary group of leaders in the field of sustainability. Let me also acknowledge our tireless warrior for the District of Columbia, who I work with on virtually a daily basis. We've got yet another new piece of legislation that we hope will move the ball down the field as we strive to become increasingly independent and responsible for our own functions here in the District of Columbia. Thank you, Congresswoman Norton, for doing such a good job in representing us on the Hill. I also want to recognize and welcome another true supporter and friend of our local environment, and that is the gentleman you just heard from, and that is our EPA Regional Director, Shawn Garvin. I don't know how much time he spends in other places, but boy, he spends a lot of time here in the District of Columbia, and we are really grateful for having a friend like Shawn Garvin, knowledgeable, committed, enthusiastic, energetic, and Shawn, we really appreciate the work you do as regional administrator. I don't know, whenever that day comes, who will succeed you, but I wouldn't want to be the person to have to succeed you in that position. Thank you, Shawn. Of course, there's a host of seasoned and new friends that I see in the audience tonight, including members of the Commission for Accreditation of Parks and Recreation Agencies. They have spent, yeah, please applaud, okay? Seriously, they have spent quite some time with us looking at our Department of Parks and Recreation under the leadership of Jesus Aguirre and his Chief of Staff, John Stokes, both of whom do such an extraordinary job. This is our first time seeking accreditation for our parks and recreation programs here in the District of Columbia. I think there are something like 144 standards that are established for such agencies, and we hope to be able to be good enough to be able to achieve accreditation. I guess we'll know that in a matter of weeks, hopefully not months, but in a matter of weeks. They went out to the baseball game last night and hopefully had a good time. And if there are other things that we can do to the members of that team to bring you to where we can get accredited, how about a big hand for the Commission and the fact that they've joined us. I want to welcome and thank everybody for coming out tonight to help us recognize and to celebrate sustainability in action here in the District of Columbia. Everyone here tonight should understand that the district, we believe anyway, is taking its place as a national and international leader in urban sustainability because of the innovative ideas and civic commitment, especially of our awardees and so many others who care deeply about our community and our environment here in the District of Columbia. Without a doubt, sustainability is at the highest level of priority for me and for those who are in my administration. And I hope all of you are familiar with our Sustainable DC plan that we released in April after having a vision statement developed a year before that. I'm like American Express. I don't leave home without it. And if you haven't read it, I hope you will. I hope you'll get a copy and, of course, to go onto the website and be able to access it. We think it is one of the most aggressive and assertive statements of a future for our city, and we hope others will adopt it. As a matter of fact, the U.S. Conference of Mayors just about a month ago gave us an award for our Sustainable DC plan. The best. The plan is our roadmap to make the District of Columbia the healthiest, the greenest, and the most livable city in the United States of America, maybe one day in the world. And together, we already are achieving things that will get us to that point. We're focused on 4 key challenges that we face as a community. First and foremost, growing jobs in our economy, because you see a lot of people don't see the relationship between jobs and sustainability, but there is an extraordinary relationship. Secondly, ensuring health and wellness. Thirdly, promoting equity and diversity. And fourth, protecting the climate and our local environment. I think we all know that these challenges are not easily overcome. It will take all of us working together, the government, the private sector, and of course individuals as well, some of whom are being recognized tonight. It will take all of us to ensure that we realize the economic, the social, and environmental benefits that every one of our 632,000 residents deserve in the District of Columbia. And for those of you who don't know, we are growing at the rate of 1,100 to 1,200 people per month in the city, many of whom we know are coming to the city because of the principles that we've established and the commitments that we have made to the environment of the city. And certainly the actions of our award winners will help ensure that we meet the challenges that we've set out. Our award winners are creating a more sustainable city today and, of course, for generations to come in the future. Let me assure you that our district government is doing its part. We officially kicked off our implementation efforts this past Earth Day, and we expect to be able to make real progress, and you heard it before, on more than half of the 143 actions by Earth Day of 2014. That would be April 22nd or thereabouts of 2014, which means that we have just a matter of months to be able to accomplish that. For example, in partnership with Bright Farms, I don't know whether you all have heard of Bright Farms or not, we recently broke ground on a 100,000 square foot greenhouse in Ward 8 that will create up to 1 million pounds of produce annually and create local jobs. Can you imagine a farm right here in the District of Columbia? We also opened the district's first compostable material transfer station earlier this year. The Benning Road Transfer Station now accepts compostable material from commercial haulers as a first step in a larger composting strategy. Our Metropolitan Police Department is rolling out technology in their new fleet, and we have a lot of new cruisers here in the District of Columbia, which hopefully you have recognized. They will limit engine idling while still powering necessary equipment. Imagine what that will do to stem pollution in the city. And this rollout will be focused to improve air quality in neighborhoods, especially those with high asthma rates. The District of Columbia is also creating new community gardens in which each ward will increase access to fresh, healthy food across the city, and we're trying to bring that food now into some of our stores. You know, we have a phenomenal number of food deserts in the District of Columbia, and we're trying to create more stores, more opportunities, not only to be able to bring food to people, but also to bring healthy food, healthy produce grown in our city or close to our city within a matter of 25 miles of our city directly to people. And of course, while there's much more work to be done, we believe that we're making great strides in implementing our sustainable DC plan. Of course, as we know, the government acting alone will never be able to achieve the results that we have set out as goals for ourselves. Those ambitious goals will require leadership in the private sector and, of course, across our community. Fortunately, there is no shortage of individuals, businesses, and organizations stepping up to the plate. I'd first like to recognize the 9 district colleges and universities that signed on to the College and University Sustainability Pledge. Each of the schools made specific commitments related to energy, use and buildings, sustainability education, transportation, waste reduction, grounds maintenance, and of course, green purchasing. You'll hear much more about that in the coming months. About the great strides that the leadership from our university partners with the leadership that they are providing. Additionally, I want to recognize the 75 embassies and international institutions. That is 75 embassies and international institutions within our city that have signed the Diplomatic Institution Sustainability Pledge. Our international pledge, which is a joint project of the U.S. Department of State and the district government, is already allowing embassies to increase energy efficiency and install stormwater management infrastructure. Just last month, our international partners gathered at the French Embassy to exchange ideas and celebrate the installation of their new green roof at the French Embassy. And by the way, for those that don't know, we have more square feet of green roof in the city now than anywhere else in the nation, and we have more LEED certified buildings than anywhere else in the nation. Now, as we get to our award winners, I'd like to also recognize 3 other groups of real leaders for sustainability here in our city. To show our deep thanks for their commitment, I have issued each of them a special certificate of appreciation. And also, I want to recognize the 22 property management companies and businesses that have signed up to participate in the DC Smarter Business Challenge. And thank you for that applause. Where are the Smarter Business Challenge members? If you would raise your hands, I would appreciate it. Those of you who are here tonight. There we go. How about a big hand for them? And for those who don't know, the DC Smarter Business Challenge is a joint effort of the Downtown DC Business Improvement District, the BID, and the District of Columbia Department of the Environment, ably led by Keith Anderson, who was introduced earlier, DDOE. These participants that we're recognizing tonight have signed up, get this, 113 buildings totaling 32 million square feet of retail and office space, and are working together to reduce their energy and water use, as well as the amount of waste generated at their sites. That's pretty phenomenal, isn't it, ladies and gentlemen? How about a big hand for that effort? By taking the challenge, these pioneering companies will demonstrate that in making their businesses more sustainable, they can save money and conserve resources. Their efforts will further inspire other companies, we think, to be able to do the same thing. The DC Smarter Business Challenge companies we recognize tonight are Ackridge, and by the way, Ackridge was with us today. I hope you all saw the announcement that we're going to build a new soccer stadium in the District of Columbia. We are doing a land trade with Ackridge. They own part of the land where the stadium will be built, and they will be getting a piece of property at 14th and U Street as we move the Reeves Center to the east end of the city to have the same catalytic effect on the east end of the city that it has for the last 27, 28 years in the heart of the city of 14th and U. In fact, I hope you all will read all about this, because we think it's really quite innovative what we're trying to do with this, including the soccer stadium. In addition to Ackridge, the American Public Health Association, the American Society of Landscape Architects, Boston Properties, Brookfield Office Properties, Cassidy Turley, Cushman and Wakefield, the DDOE, which we mentioned earlier, our District of Columbia, Department of General Services, which handles all of our maintenance and construction services, the Downtown DC BID, Executive Travel Associates, Hines, Hotel Monaco, Institute for Market Transformation, Jones, Lang, LaSalle, OTJ Architects, Property Group Partners, Shorenstein, the JBG companies, the Tower companies, Transwestern, Renato, Charles E. Smith. How about a big hand for all of those companies? And we're going to continue to add to them. I also want to recognize 3 District of Columbia public schools, which have earned special recognition this year as winners of the U.S. Department of Education's Green Ribbon Schools program. There are three of those schools. Wilson High School. We recently renovated that school. How about a big hand for our schools? Come on, our kids need that kind of encouragement, ladies and gentlemen. Mundo Verde Bilingual Public Charter School. And Washington Yu Ying Public Charter School. And if you have not been to Yu Ying, you need to go there. I went there right before our China visit last year, and these kids were fluently speaking Mandarin in the classroom that I was in. And I can tell you without question, I had no clue what they were talking about. These schools, I think, are inspiring a new generation to induce environmental impact and to cut costs while improving the health of our students and staff. They are infusing environmental and sustainability education. They are including STEM principles as science, technology, engineering, and math, civic skills, and of course, green career pathways. I think we all can agree that greening our school facilities and teaching our children about the importance of sustainability are critical steps in creating a more sustainable future. Again, let's give a round of applause to these green ribbon schools and the fact that they've been recognized for that purpose. I'd also ask you to join me in recognizing a number of individuals who have given unselfishly of their time and their expertise to advance one of our most important tools to create a sustainable future. Last year, as part of the Sustainable DC initiative, I announced a plan to update the district's construction codes to keep the district at the forefront of sustainable building practices. I'm sure everybody has read the draft of the construction codes for the District of Columbia, right? Well, some have, because of course a number of people worked on them and they've been reviewed in the time since. And of course, since that time, private sector volunteers appointed to the Construction Codes Coordinating Board and its Green Technical Advisory Group have been working diligently to develop a visionary but practical set of energy and green construction codes. They've committed literally hundreds of hours each over the past year. As you all know, we are a totally urban environment dominated by buildings. Greening our construction codes is one of the hallmarks of our Sustainable DC plan. The code that these volunteers have worked so tirelessly to develop is now ready for consideration by our District of Columbia Council, and we hope it will be reviewed and acted upon them soon after they return from recess in September. Again, thanks to their efforts, the district will have one of the greenest, if not the greenest, code in the country, and we will continue to lead the nation in the greening of buildings. I'm delighted to add my thanks to the private sector members of the CCCB, and the Green Tag for their dedication and for their leadership. If I can take a moment to mention who they are: Alexander Early, Annika Landrino, Armando Lorenco, Cliff Majersic, Curtis Clay, Dan Mooring, Ethan Landis, Frank Mobilio, Fulia Kosak, Heather Langford, Jeremy Sigmund, Joe Winters, John Otto, Mark Letterman, Michael Walton, Nicola Whiteman, Patrick Kunze, Robert Hershey, Roger Chang, and Ryan Mirez. How about a big hand for each one of them? Again, we don't think that there's any shortage of District of Columbia community leaders and volunteers who are stepping forward to make our city more sustainable. There remains, however, a very special group of individuals, businesses, and organizations who stand out as our 2013 Sustainability Award winners. I've had the pleasure of meeting all of our winners, and I'm anxious to see that they are introduced and be a part of them being introduced to you tonight. And to do those honors, I'm going to ask our MC if she would come back up, who herself is a community and environmental activist, leader of the highest order. Please welcome back to the stage Sheila Johnson.
Well, I see everybody's kind of shifting, and whew, I know that marble's hard on your feet. But with those words from Mayor Gray, let's get on with tonight's main event. I think you'll agree that we see across our 9 awardees, the same sense of dedication to the district's people and our environment that we just heard from the mayor. Our first award is Brain Food. Brain Food is a nonprofit youth development organization using food and cooking to build life skills and empower district teens to become valuable resources in their own communities. The organization serves almost 200 teens at 3 community-based sites. Their curriculum addresses the practical how to shop and cook on a budget and the political food justice, while giving teens the opportunity to grow, debate, and learn. Last year, Brain Food built an urban youth garden on an unused site at the historic Mount Vernon United Methodist Church and negotiated use of the kitchen for programming for district teens. This growing season, Brain Food is cultivating flowers, herbs, and vegetables and expects to harvest over 600 pounds of food. Congratulations to Brain Food, and thank you for empowering our next generation of healthy, engaged residents. Your efforts highlight the benefits of engaging and educating the community and the critical importance of equity in building a sustainable city. Congratulations.
Thanks so much. Appreciate it.
Okay. Our next award is Children's National Medical Center. Okay. So as you all know, Children's National Medical Center is at the cutting edge of medical care. You may not know that Children's is also strongly committed to creating a healthy and safe environment for children and employees through the sustainable operations. At their flagship facility, Children's provides children with access to gardens to improve the healing process and their overall experience at the center. They incorporate environmentally friendly products in cafeterias for cleaning and office supplies, and also the electricity they consume. Children's is incorporating environmental sustainability in daily operations at all of its 30 locations within the Beltway. To improve waste management, they provide a recycling at all facilities and participate in a program to keep pharmaceutical chemicals out of landfills and waterways. For making an additional commitment to the sustainability of our local environment and to improving lives of employees and neighbors as well as patients, we thank and congratulate Children's National Medical Center for their leadership. Our next awardee is ANC Commissioner Robert A. Jordan. ANC Commissioner Robert A. Jordan, 7B06, is one of our individual awardees this year, in recognition for his leadership and commitment to put sustainable ideas in practice.
Thank you, guys.
In partnership with the Fairfax Village community, Commissioner Jordan brought new life and energy to long-abandoned basketball, and tennis courts in his ward. To transform these old courts into gardens and community space, he devoted countless hours to engage members of the community together and partners including Washington Parks and People and the District Department of the Environment. Partnering with the Department of Youth and Rehabilitation Services, he also developed job training opportunities for youth in his community. The restored site will help prepare youth for new jobs while providing fresh food for local residences and creating a valuable amenity for the community. Thank you, Commissioner, for dedicating yourself to building not just gardens, but a strong, livable community and economic opportunity for our youth. Congratulations. All right. Congratulations.
Thank you. Appreciate you.
And moving right along, CoStar Group, Inc. CoStar Group is a world leader in commercial real estate intelligence. They also have a long-standing commitment to sustainable operations and to creating world-class, environmentally conscious workplaces like their LEED Platinum certified world headquarters in the district. In 2010, the CoStar added the Chevrolet Volt hybrid electric vehicle to its field research fleet and enhanced robust transit subsidies to encourage employees to use public transportation. According to Commuter Connections, CoStar's transportation programs eliminate 4.8 million vehicle miles each year. CoStar is an Energy Star partner and was honored for helping to transform the real estate market by incorporating the LEED certified and registered buildings, Energy Star certified buildings, and BREEAM assessed properties into its database, enabling clients in the United States and abroad to seek out green buildings. Excuse me. For using the power of information to educate customers across the globe, and for bringing the benefits of sustainable workplaces to employees here in the district. We present CoStar Group with the 2013 Mayor's Sustainability Award. Our next award is Dumbarton House, the National Society of Colonial Dames of America. Are they here? Yes. Okay, great. Dumbarton House is a unique cultural institution whose staff strives to preserve our city's history while conserving resources today and for the future. Dumbarton House purchases 100% wind power for electricity usage, enough to power 15 homes for a year and offset more than 100 tons of carbon dioxide emissions. They also purchase 100% carbon offsets for their natural gas usage, not only offsetting carbon emissions, but also saving 6 cents for every thermal unit used. By reusing items as much as possible and closely auditing purchases, Dumbarton House decreased their annual supply budget for $10,000 to just over $2,000. They use 100% recycled paper products, from copy paper to toilet paper, and the in-house recycling program includes everything from cans and plastic bottles to Post-it notes, ink cartridges, and water filters. For exemplifying conservation of our history and the environment and proving that sustainable practices can help improve the bottom line, we thank Dumbarton House for its leadership.
Thank you. I live in Leesburg. I love you, Lucille.
Thank you. Congratulations. Okay. Next, Meredith Shepard. Meredith Shepard, our second individual awardee this year, founded Love and Carrots. I like that name. A home-based garden education service that helps clients convert lawns from biological deserts into productive ecosystems that are beautiful, healthy, tasty, and less expensive than traditional lawns. The company designs, installs, and maintains organically grown vegetable gardens for families, businesses, and community organizations like Shaw Children's Hospital and Wangari Gardens in Columbia Heights. Their gardens make food production visible in the neighborhoods and include rooftop gardens, urban beehives, native pollinator gardens, and rain gardens. In just 2 growing seasons, Meredith and her team have installed more than 130 gardens. They're adding 3 to 5 gardens a week, and a portion of their projects every year are installed at cost for low-income city residents. Thanks to Meredith and her team with bringing beautiful, productive gardens in the heart of the city and using these sustainable practices to bring people together. Congratulations. Our next awardee, Mundo Verde Bilingual Public Charter School. Mundo Verde is the only school in the district to focus on sustainability and bilingual Spanish and English education. Students in every grade engage in sustainability-focused expedition, fieldwork, and actively practice sustainability values and habits. Among them, interconnectedness, stewardship, and collective action. In their expedition on trash, first graders launched a school-wide composting and recycling campaign to reduce classroom waste. Preschoolers studying the human body and health created a Spanish language brochure on hygiene to share with area schools and a local health clinic. The school has revitalized its current space to embrace energy and water-efficient infrastructure, installed an edible garden, and is planning for a permanent home with a vision of sustainable building that goes beyond LEED certification. Congratulations to Mundo Verde's leadership and staff for their ongoing commitment to sustainability at all levels of school curriculum and operations, and to students who are carrying their sustainable messages out into the community. Congratulations. Our next award, the Tower Companies. The Tower Companies, a residential and commercial real estate developer, is a leader of building energy-efficient buildings and is the district's first two-time winner of the Mayor's Environmental and Sustainability Award in 2009 and now in 2013. Across their portfolio, 90% of the buildings are LEED certified, including all 3 properties in the district. Since their first award in 2009, Tower installed real-time energy management systems in its 3 district buildings and saw energy use drop 17% between 2011 and 2012. Tower is also committed to buildings' demand for renewable energy by offsetting its greenhouse gases with renewable energy credits and carbon offsets. In the community, Tower partners with local organizations to help meet the goals of the Sustainable DC Plan, planting trees with Casey Trees, installing rain gardens with the Golden Triangle bid, and organizing employee volunteers to clean up Rock Creek Park. Our thanks to Tower Companies team for its early commitment and continued dedication to a portfolio of efficient, healthy buildings. Their leadership demonstrates how our buildings can contribute to a sustainable future to our city. Congratulations.
Thank you. Doing a good job.
Thank you.
Thanks, Sheila. Great job.
Okay, congratulations. All right. Washington Gas Energy Services, Inc. And last, alphabetically, but certainly not the least, I would like to welcome Washington Gas Energy Services to the stage. For those who are not familiar with Washington Gas Energy Service, is an independent energy retailer, separate from the utility, Washington Gas. WGES is in the business of supplying electricity and gas and has worked diligently to become one of the largest green energy suppliers in the district. WGES provides wind power and carbon offsets for residential, commercial, and municipal customers and has emerged as an environmental leader committed to community involvement, education, and outreach. Way back in 2002, WGES supported the area's first regional wind farm and became the only area supplier to include wind in their electricity offer. Today, residential and commercial customers can choose customized wind power options for their electricity. As of March 2013, WGES's annual green products and offering in the district were equivalent to removing nearly 390,000 metric tons of carbon dioxide from the atmosphere. Internally, WGES is focused on reducing its environmental impact through sustainable printing, telecommuting options, volunteer work in the community, and through sustainable practices at the company's LEED certified headquarters. For its early leadership and ongoing commitment to expand our share of energy from clean, renewable sources, we congratulate Washington Gas Energy Services. Congratulations. Now, before I leave the stage and say goodnight, I would like to present Keith Anderson, Director of the DDOE, make his appearance on the stage. But before Keith talks, I want to congratulate all the award winners. It has been terrific, and do you know it is 8:30? Keith Anderson is Director of the District Department of Environment. He leads a workforce of approximately 300 environmental professionals and oversees the operations of our 4 administrations, 13 divisions, and 14 branches that work collaboratively to protect the environment and conserve the natural resources of the District of Columbia. He and his team are responsible for putting on this wonderful event this evening. So I would like to present Keith Anderson. You're welcome.
Thank you, Sheila. And didn't she do a wonderful job, ladies and gentlemen? Please give her a round of applause. Before we wrap things up, ladies and gentlemen, there are just a few folks that I have to thank before we get out of here. As Ms. Johnson noted, it is 8:30. Again, Ms. Johnson, I'd like to thank you for graciously emceeing this event. And I look forward to seeing you at the Salamander Resort in Middleburg, Virginia, when it opens in a few weeks. Congresswoman Norton, I know she had to leave, but I'd like to thank her for gracing us with her presence. I want to thank Mayor Gray. If it were not for your vision and your leadership, we would not be here tonight, and I'd like to thank you for that, Mayor Gray. I'd also like to thank Regional Administrator Shawn Garvin for his attendance, as well as the EPA team. As a federal partner, they are instrumental in moving the district forward to becoming the healthiest, greenest, and most livable city in the United States, and I'd like to thank you for that. Let me also say thank you to a few folks who were critical in making this event a success. Linda Howard and the Summit Foundation of Washington. Is Linda here? Thank you so much, Linda. Allison Roth and Laura Brubaker from the National Museum of Women in the Arts. Well Done Catering. Our youth performers from the DC Orchestra. Weren't they great? And while I'm thanking everyone, I cannot forget my team at DDOE. Specifically, I'd like to thank Mary Lynn Wilheimer, Brendan Shane, Donna Henry, Dan Gilboa, and John Hermes. And I'd also, before I get off the stage, would like to recognize a few of my fellow cabinet members that showed up this evening. Director Terry Bellamy from the District Department of the Transportation. James Staten, Office of Contracting and Procurement. Jesus Aguirre, Department of Recreation. And although she's not here, I'd like to also thank Director Harriet Tregroni for her tremendous support as well. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, thank you for coming. I hope you had a wonderful time. Stay green.